As Heritage Month comes to an end, questions around the significance of celebrating Heritage Day have also come to fore. To discuss this, I'm now joined by Veronica King, who's a diversity expert. Veronica, good to have you on the program this afternoon. Firstly, Heritage Day serves as a powerful reminder of our cultural wealth. How do you see the significance of this day evolving, especially in contemporary South Africa?
Thank you for having me. Hi, Nhlanhla. I think it's a wonderful opportunity. For me, it's beyond a public holiday. It's a wonderful opportunity of celebration of our diversity, of our cultures, of our histories, of our wonderful traditions that we have. And I do think it's important that we use the day as an opportunity to really get a deeper understanding through dialogue on what our different cultures and traditions mean to us. I think it's beyond just wearing traditional outfits and cooking respective dishes. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for healing and for social cohesion.
So can you elaborate on the concept of living heritage, but also its importance in shaping our national identity, if you will?
So heritage, comes from the inheritance of our past, be it indigenous, be it colonial, be it global. We have a whole number of traditions that we've inherited from our ancestors and from people who have gone before us. And I think from a culture perspective, I think they're very closely related. While we've got this wonderful, rich tapestry of heritage as a diverse South Africa, we also have different cultures, and I think cultures evolve, but culture is more about how we live, all these inheritances that we've had from our indigenous past, our ancestors, different histories that we've had.
But Veronica, what are some examples of living heritage practices that you believe are crucial to really preserving in South Africa today?
I think the way art form is one of the ways that continue and that are carried down from our, it's a part of our inheritance. I think the way we celebrate when we're doing rituals, be those indigenous traditional healing rituals, I think those are beautiful ways in which we acknowledge our inheritance of the past and our culture. There are different traditions. When a child is born, there's certain things that happen there. When there's rites of passage for different parts of our life journeys as people. So I think there's a number of different traditions. There's also a tradition of when somebody gets married, what are those traditions? And each Indians have different traditions. Jewish people have different traditions. Black people, we have different traditions. Colored people. So I think it's a real opportunity for us to start respecting and understanding and appreciating the richness of our diversity of different cultures and traditions. Instead of being judgmental about them, I think about holding curiosity and openness so that we can really respect the whole person with whom we interact.
How does embracing cultural diversity through heritage contribute to social cohesion, also reconciliation in a country especially like South Africa?
I think social cohesion is what we're needing desperately. I think since '94, and I'd like to think that Heritage Day was actually born out of the intention of, I know it used to be Shaka Day, but it's been since '95, it was changed to Heritage Day. And I think the intention of social cohesion is how do we break down the barriers of our segregation that we've had as part of our history and truly begin to understand what our identities are made up of a number of different cultural traditions that we all that we all aspire to and that we all actually live by, actually. It's not just about an aspiration. I think the social cohesion is an aspiration, but we all live by certain codes of culture that we use. So I think from a social cohesion perspective, again, it's about appreciating our difference, appreciating the diversity that we have, and also a deeper understanding of who we are as a nation.
Another concept that's been mentioned is the role of living heritage in economic development as well. Can you provide insights into how cultural practices can indeed drive local economy?
I think cultural practices can certainly drive local economy. I think one of the things that I've mentioned is about traditional healing. I think the Traditional Healing Association is working really hard at getting that acknowledged as a huge income stream and building our economy. I think if people start respecting that and building into the corporate HR policies that people need to have longer leave than just the 21-day leave if they're needing to honor whatever their traditional calling is. I think recognizing if homeopathy is recognized, if Chinese medicine is recognized, so traditional medicine should also get the recognition, and that can certainly contribute to our economy.
But Veronica, in what ways can communities actively engage in really reclaiming but also preserving their living heritage?
So when we speak about living heritage, I think it's about honoring. I think our living heritage has been what we've been handed down from our different generations. But I think the extent to which we've wanted to be more westernized in many of the ways in which we show up and interact with one another, those living heritages can often be ignored or forgotten. So I think us starting to acknowledge, and those are respective to different cultures and different identities, what their living heritage is. And I think the more we acknowledge those without any shame and not wanting to have this proximity to the Western and global North way of being, that would really enable us to embrace who we are as a nation and really celebrate the diversity of our different cultures and traditions and our histories.
I want us to explore the subject of oral history. How does this play a role in really passing down cultural knowledge, and why is it vital for future generations?
I think, no, just repeat the question. I just missed the first part of it.
I want to touch on oral history. Why is it so important, and what role does it play in passing down cultural knowledge from one generation to another?
I think passing down that cultural generation, the oral history, really gives an individual a sense of who they are, where do we come from, what have our people experienced, what have our people had to sacrifice to achieve where we are today. So I think that's really important. And we speak about history, and in schools, I don't believe that the history, especially the history of South Africa, is often shared in the most effective way, so that all the children, not just the black and brown children, but all the children really own and understand the past, our histories, where we come from, and that will definitely help us have more social cohesion, alignment that would really inform our future.
So the Department of Arts and Culture has also proposed a draft policy on living heritage. Let's speak about this. What key elements do you think are essential for this policy to be effective?
Wow, there's so many things. I think the Department of Arts and Culture's intention of really wanting to create a lot more of the art forms that were very prevalent and prominent in our history needs to start having its rightful place, whether it is in museums, whether it's in galleries. And I think including that in the way children actually start doing art and maybe art schools, I think there's many opportunities that the department are intending to have these living legacies be part of how we're seeing our daily, in the present and in our way forward, in our future.
And as we conclude, what challenges do you think communities face in really preserving their heritage, and how can these indeed be addressed?
The challenges I've mentioned already is the need, is how we've been programmed to think that things that are more of the global north and the west are the ways we want to be. We assimilate because those are the ones that have informed many of the systems in which we work, in which we study. And I think if we really can start showing our respect for our our indigenous knowledge, our
Veronica,
cultural.
unfortunately, we